the Rambler Network.
In this episode, which is the first episode of the October Halloween season, meaning that from here to the rest of the year, like for the rest of the year, there's going to be an episode every Sunday instead of every other week. This episode, I am covering The Phantom of the Opera, which is a 2004 musical directed by Joel Schumacher, written by Schumacher and Andrew Lloyd Webber, and starring Gerard Butler, Emmy Rossum, Patrick Wilson, Miranda Richardson, and Minnie Driver. It's based on the Broadway musical by Andrew Lloyd Webber, which in turn was based on
Le Fantôme de l'Opéra de Gaston Leroux.
Yeah, I wasn't going to try to pronounce that. No way. Okay, so I know there's a lot of criticisms about this movie. I told a couple people I was going to cover this, and they said, no, why would you cover that? It's a crappy movie. It's one of the worst musicals of all time. And I don't know why people have that opinion. Like, why is it such, why does everyone hate it? Like, some called it campy and lifeless, and like, they unfairly compare it to the stage version. I've never seen the stage version, but I can't imagine how this worked as a stage version. Like, there was even, like, this weird complaint saying, because it's Joel Schumacher. He passed away a few years ago. He did a lot of great movies, but because he did 2 Batman movies that were very, very poorly received, and rightly so. They're not the best. They're very campy, very Saturday morning cartoony. I think the Adam West movies are less cheesy than the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. But because of that, a lot of people said, I'm going to quote this, Joel Schumacher did to Phantom what he did to Batman. That doesn't hold up logically. Completely different genres and tones. I don't see how they made that comparison. I mean, heck, Roger Ebert's considered like one of the most respected film reviewers of all times. Film critic. He acknowledged the flaws, but defended Schumacher, noting that he did the best he could with the material he was given. Okay, so, like, I'm just realizing I'm starting with the criticisms. Okay, so I think the reason I'm starting with the criticisms is every time I've told someone I was going to cover this movie, it's always been the same reaction. Oh, come on, why would you cover that movie? It sucks. It's worse. Black and white. And so, I don't know. I figured if I didn't address that first, people would probably tune out. But obviously, I personally love this movie. I was going to say grew up with this movie, but I was 2 years away from being 18 when it came out. 16. I was 16 when it came out. So, yeah. But I did watch it a lot. We owned it on DVD. We watched it a lot. In 2011, I believe, my sister and I went to see it at the Paramount Theater in Abilene. It was, until this time, it was the last time I'd seen it. And, like, I didn't remember much. I remembered a lot of it. I still remembered all the songs. At one point, I owned the soundtrack on CD. It was like the deluxe edition or something, 2 discs. And I thought that was just how the soundtrack was, because it included like most of the dialogue from the movie. And so when I went to go look it up on Spotify, when I first got Spotify, I was like, wait, where's all the dialogue? It's just the music. But Yeah. Point is, I have a long history with this movie, and I'm a huge fan, and I love it. I've never seen the stage play. I know a lot of people criticize that. There's this whole story has a whole lot of criticisms, and I've learned to ignore that. If you love something, you love it. The way I feel is, if you hate something, move on. If you don't like this movie, why are you... Okay, I should probably say that for a Star Wars episode. I don't think... I'm probably never going to cover Star Wars on here, but if I did, that would basically be the whole thing. It would be constantly going, no, see, the thing is... No. Hang on. I did write some notes. Where is that? Oh, Gaston Leroux. I'll just say Gaston. He's the guy who wrote The Phantom of the Opera, the original novel. He wrote it, I believe, in 1910. It started out as like a series of like newspaper stories, and then they like consolidated them into a book. I noticed a lot of old novels, a lot of classics started out that way. They were like published like as a serial in a newspaper, and then they were combined into a book form. And that's what happened with this. He didn't invent the Phantom of the Opera out of thin air. When he published the novel, he was drawing on real whispers and legends surrounding the opera house. The Paris Opera House from the movie is real. Okay, maybe not like, like the one from the movie, but it's based on an actual opera house. It still exists today. There's a website. I went to it. The building shown on the website does not look like the one from the movie. That's why I say maybe not the same one. I don't know if like the one in the movie is based on one that existed and it got burned down, because there is... Wait, actually, hang on. Let me keep reading. Underground lake. Beneath the opera house, there really is a vast stone cistern, an artificial lake created during the construction in the 1860s. Firefighters use it in training. He took this real architectural oddity and imagined it. I was just writing. I don't even remember half of what I wrote. This was... Okay, not gonna lie. I wrote this weeks ago, and I'm just now recording it. Because I started writing this, you remember how like a couple episodes back, I said, I'm going to stop doing scripts now because I did a poll and people said they didn't like the scripts. I was like, I had started doing what I would do for the scripts is I would outline them and then I would like expand them into scripts, and I had already kind of outlined a few episodes, and I'm just taking the outline that I had done. This was like 2 months ago, and I'm just kind of using that, my notes, which granted these notes are better than what I used to do. I would just write down like a line and I'm supposed to remember what that means, and I actually did like full paragraphs, but this was months ago. I've slept since then. Okay, I should have like gone back and looked at the source, because like I wrote the falling chandelier. There was a counterweight from the opera's massive chandelier did break loose during a performance, crashing through the audience and killing a woman. The tragedy became the inspiration for the most famous set piece, the Phantom sending the chandelier plummeting to the stage. There was whispers of a ghost. The opera had long been rumored to be haunted. Strange accidents, eerie noises, and mysterious figures seen in shadowed corridors fed into the gossip. Gaston tapped into those circulating ghost stories to give his tale a journalistic feel, blurring fact and fiction. Oh yeah, I meant to actually read the book. I should have read the book. I did not read the book. I wrote like stage directions. This is when I do a rundown of the story without spoiling anything. And I almost read that out loud, and I just did, so I shouldn't have said that. I did not read through this before I started recording. I'm like, I'll remember everything. I love this movie. And I'm reading through it as I'm recording, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should have done some research. But, okay, You know what? I'm putting the phone down. I don't need notes for this movie. Okay, so maybe the notes for like the extra stuff that you don't know just by watching the movie, like the book and stuff. Oh, did you know that it's based on a novel? Yeah. There. That's the high quality content you came to this podcast for. No. But seriously, this movie, like, I don't know, it's nostalgic. All right, so I actually will talk about the story. I just realized I haven't talked about the story. So it's this basically Phantom of the Opera is about Christine Daae, who is played by Emmy Rossum, and she was training to be an opera singer by the opera ghost, the angel of music. And okay, so Carlotta is probably my favorite character in the movie. There's a scene at the beginning, and while I was watching it, I was literally saying it out loud. Every time I watch this movie, I say the line out loud. For the past few years, these things do happen, but do you stop these things from happening? These things does not happen. You too. You're as bad as him. Yes, that whole scene, I probably said it wrong too. There's also more to it, but like, yes, that scene, I love it. It's hilarious. Minnie Driver was perfect in that role. And what's funny is, until I got the soundtrack, I didn't realize that was her singing at the end, the Learn to Be Lonely. I was just like, I would always hear the song. I'm, oh, this is a good song. And then it said, you know, on the CD, it said, Learn to Be Lonely by Minnie Driver. I'm like, Minnie Driver? That's the name of the... Oh! Anyway, apparently the Phantom really does not like Carlotta. Something, I don't know, something to do with her being vain, self-centered, arrogant, not a very good person. Very self-centered. I think I said that. It's one of those things where, like, you know, we love Tony Stark. Yeah, Tony Stark's basically like a lovable a-hole, and we love him for it. As a fictional character. If we knew Tony Stark in person, we would hate him. Same thing with Carlotta. I love her as a fictional character. If I knew her in person, I'd probably hate her. Anyway, she walks off at the beginning, and Christine, actually, they were like, we're gonna have to postpone the show. And then they were like, hey, actually, Christine could sing, and then she sings, and then she, like, becomes a star. The Phantom likes her, it doesn't like Carlotta, and every time they have Carlotta sing, disaster beyond her wildest imaginations, I can't words, they happen because he doesn't like Carlotta, for reasons that have been previously stated a couple minutes ago. And yes, the music in this, I know I had a friend say she didn't like this movie because there's too much singing. It's called Phantom of the Opera. She didn't like it because it was an actual opera. Well, it contains opera things. Not every song is an opera. But I don't know what to tell you. I will say that one thing I liked, even as a kid, watching this, was, you know, the famous Phantom of the Opera song when, you know, he appears in her mirror, you know, opens it, and there's a secret corridor, and there's all like dancing candlesticks, and there's like a magic hallway, corridor, whatever, and she's walking down, and it's like, oh, this is fantastical. And then when Meg comes and enters that same corridor, and you realize, oh, it was all a hallucination, because it's a really old spiderwebby corridor, and this mouse runs past her foot. And yeah, it's like, oh, even as a kid, I was like, that was a clever way to reveal that nothing that she witnessed was real. As I'm saying that, I realized that was not entirely accurate. You know, there were real things, like the Phantom was real. Or, you know, he wasn't a phantom, he was an actual living, breathing person. But, like, because she was, like, under his spell, she hallucinated things. And I love that they didn't wait till the end to reveal, oh, all these things were not real. That sounds like something I think like if they were to remake that, they might. Oh yeah, in my research I did find out that so Andrew Lloyd Webber wants to remake The Phantom of the Opera. He said one of his least favorite things about the movie was that the Phantom was too young. Emmy Rossum was 16. Gerard Butler was 35, I think. There's scenes where, like, it's very, very disturbing when you know that. When you know that he's in his late 30s and she's 16. And just, like, he's, like, obsessed with her and everything. And that's, like, okay, that's disturbing enough. There's a moment during Music of the Night where he's, like, sweet intoxication. And he, like, moves his hand down her front and everything. And, you know, I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, this is disturbing knowing what I know now. Like, their ages. I didn't know that at the time. When I was a kid, I'm like, I'd watch it as a kid. I was like, oh, yeah, that goes along with the lyrics. Watch it now, knowing their ages, and I'm like, that's very, what, why? Andrew Lloyd Webber wants to remake it and make the Phantom older. I want to veto this decision. The movie was fine. Okay, I won't go as far as to say it's perfect. Because as much as I like it, I know that everybody hates it. I know that like most people hate it. And as much as I love it, there's a few flaws here and there. Like, it's not like the greatest movie of all time. But, you know, it's not flawed enough to warrant a remake, especially if you're just going to make the Phantom older, because it's creepy enough as it is. At the very least, if you remake it, make Christine older. Please. Because that's... Watch, they remake it, they make the Phantom like 50, and then they make Christine 14. Oh, I hope not. I hope not. Does Webber have any allegations against him? Because I'm starting to want to... Actually, I don't want to look that up because I don't want to change my opinion of him. I see Andrew Lloyd Webber is doing a project. I'm like, oh, I'm going to like this. I did really like the quote-unquote present day scenes. The film starts... I'm just now talking about the start of the film with, it takes place like 50 years later, and like Raoul and Madame Giry, Meg was, they're really old now, and they're at an auction at the Opera House, and then, it goes back and forth between, the past of like 1879, I think, and then 1911, I think. I don't remember the years. And it goes back and forth, and then like it ends. I don't want to spoil anything, but Christine dies at the end. It's like trick people and say, "Oh yeah, Christine dies at the end." I don't remember that. They really changed the play. Like, just watch it. Watch how she dies. How it's revealed that she's dead. Yeah, you actually don't know how she dies, but she's dead. Okay, yeah, it's not she's not dead. She doesn't die in the past part. There's a tombstone, and it's like, oh, there's her name, and he lays a flower, and then it's like, no, he lays the music box at her grave, and then he realizes there's a flower, there's a rose there showing that the Phantom is still alive. Wait. This was 50 years later. Gerard Butler was like late 30s, almost 40. The Phantom is 90 years old over here laying flowers. He did not let her go. Wow. I mean, I've known now, obviously. I mean, that's the whole point of the ending there. But, like, saying it out loud, I'm like, dude, just let it go. Anyway. That was Phantom of the Opera. If you don't like that move. Actually, if you do like Phantom of the Opera, please let me know, because I am a huge fan of that movie. And I'm surprised that this was the first time I'd seen it since my sister and I watched it over a decade ago. That was... Wait, when was that? That was 14 years ago. I don't like that. But, I just remembered something. Somebody told me that they didn't realize, because they listened to my podcast, and they said they realized that they didn't realize that I have a merch store, which I'm not merch store. I have a merch shop thing. I mentioned, because I bought one of my own shirts when I first started, just to see how it looked, and that was a long time ago, and I've added stuff to it. I actually changed merch shops. I should probably buy another shirt because I got a different one. Kind of technically, it was T Public before. That's one I bought from. And now I'm at Dashery, which is like a spin-off of T Public. It's the Rambler Network, and it's on Dashery. I also have a Patreon. Someone told me they didn't know I had a Patreon. I actually have 2 tiers. I think I was working on 2. I know I at least have 1 available, and it's basically like deleted episodes. There's like, for example, like the last episode I did, The Desperate Housewives this summer. That was a sequel to an episode last year, Desperate Housewives Part 1, and before I asked her to record that episode last year, I'd already recorded a Desperate Housewives episode. And instead of just deleting the Desperate Housewives episode I'd already recorded by myself, it's on the Patreon. Like, it's a completely pointless episode, because it's basically just me going, so I like Desperate Housewives, and I've been a fan for a while, and it's like, it's really, really basic. And then when they were like, yeah, we'll be on your show, I'm like, yes! I almost deleted it. I've got a few episodes on there, a few like bonus. It's like delete. I call them deleted episodes, but they're not deleted, obviously. Otherwise, I couldn't have put them on Patreon. And I don't remember. It's been a while since I've actually looked on there. I should actually go. I'm planning on the second tier, because there's like sometimes I want to do like really small episodes, but they don't feel like they go anywhere. Because I have 3 podcasts now. I don't know. So like a couple months ago, I don't remember when it was. I had it set to schedule. I scheduled it, so I don't remember when it was. I scheduled it months ago, so whenever it went live, I don't know. I have a 3rd podcast that went live in August, Oddly Pacific, and it's basically mysteries of the Pacific Coast, and I also have Digressor, obviously. And I'm planning on doing on Patreon like a second tier where it's like bonus episodes. I record specifically for that. I just haven't done anything yet. Kind of like there are some episodes like I want to record certain things, but like, where do they go? That doesn't feel like Digressor. It doesn't feel like Casablanca. Definitely doesn't feel like Oddly Pacific. Sometimes I want to do movie episodes, but like not a specific movie, just like, I want to talk about this specific movie topic that's not a specific movie. And I might do something there. I'm only talking about it now because because I know I should probably do it as a mini-sode, but I've already recorded this far. I'm just looking at the time now. I've been recording for 25 minutes. Nope, 26. The screen's too far away. I can't tell. That is 26. Is that 28 minutes? No, that's 26. I have bad vision. Anyway, yeah, I thought I would talk about that because someone pointed out, because they were like, I guess somebody was listening to one of my podcasts. I don't remember which one. If you're listening to this, sorry. It's not that I don't pay attention. I have so much going on. They messaged me and they were like, I was kind of researching your website and everything, and I didn't realize you had a Patreon and a merch shop. And I was like, oh right, yeah, I should probably mention that on the podcast, because without promotion, no one's ever going to find out about it. And it's like, why is no one subscribing to my Patreon? Because no one knows about it. Anyway, and cut.
The Rambler Network.